Bonifacio Global City. It is a walking city. And what I mean by that is, well, it's designed for pedestrians. There's a couple of these open park spaces that are built in throughout the city every couple of blocks. There are lanes set up for bikes and scooters and pedestrians. And it's not a large city. I call it a micro city. It's easily walked from one side to the other in, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. Today I'm walking from what I call downtown, which is like 25th Street, all the way, which really isn't that far, to where St. Luke's is. It's the Fort Stopover, the Bonifacio Fort Stopover. It's one of the few places where they have a nutrition depot kiosk. At least they used to before the whole global lockdown agenda. And you could get different types of proteins there, pea proteins and stuff. It's one of the only places in the city, I mean like all of Manila, where you could get a selection of pea proteins as opposed to something like a whey isolate protein. Wait, but I can't get out here? I can't get out here, but I can get out here. That's... They don't let me out here either. What the fuck? They have like a scan code to get into the damn... I don't understand. I've never seen that before. I can't walk all the way around. I'm just gonna like jump over the fence. I won't do it again. Alright, so which way to go? We'll walk down the main strip where you can kind of really get a sense of those skyscrapers and buildings that make up the facade of corporate BGC. Because BGC is a BPO zone. That means it's zoned for call center types of businesses, which really I think just means tax break. And I'm sure that's a tax break for the companies that invest here. But I'll walk down this sort of middle street here, and you'll see it takes us past the High Street Walk, which I'm not walking down today because it cuts this way across the city and I need to cut this way across the city. But the High Street Walk's super popular, you know, tons of restaurants and lots of like boutique shopping all along the strip. There used to be great venues for outdoor food. The Mercado Market, forgive my slave muzzle, I'm just wearing it because there's some ordinance here that says you're supposed to wear it outside. I know. It's ridiculous and not based in any kind of science, but I guess it makes people feel better, so I'm trying to do my little part in conforming as a proper slave citizen. So yeah, High Street, both ways. And I was out here the other night walking around. Didn't really feel like going and getting hammered after dinner. Just had a light dinner. Decided to go for some sushi and maybe a little coffee afterwards, and it was chill, unlike most nights, which end up drinking at some establishment. Usually some cool spot that's open and overpriced and you needed a reservation to get into because seating is so limited. The WCC building. It's actually the office building that I work out of. The reason why I moved to BGC. But now that I work from home, I'm wondering, why am I even still living here? And that's a good question. Why live in BGC? Why live in BGC now that so much is limited and you're working from home? Well, prices are definitely down. Despite the fact that things are still kind of expensive, prices are definitely down. Let's cut through this way. Not that if I moved outside of BGC, in between, say, BGC and Makati, or over to the Pembo side, I would cut my rent in half, easily, just by moving 1 mile. Some people live here for the convenience. I mean, there are convenient elements. There's no wires. I don't know if you've noticed that. All the electrical stuff is underground. So you rarely get brownouts here. You really rarely get power outages here. It's clean. There's no jeepneys. There's no tricycles. I don't know about quiet. Sometimes it seems quiet, especially after curfew. It's somewhat centrally located. It's super close to Makati. It's close to areas of Pasig, Mandaluyong, Ortigas. You can actually jump right on C5 and get up to Quezon City relatively easily from here. It's close to the airport. Not that that's been a factor recently. Yeah, it feels weird walking around back here now that I'm not working over here. It just feels like it's been a while. Backside of the mall. The mall, one of the malls along the High Street Walk. I know this is just kind of a plain Jane walk around from downtown to Uptown. Not even really Uptown, just the Uptown side. But some days are like that. I could have taken a taxi. I could have been there in 5 minutes for maybe 100 pesos. That's like $2. But I decided to walk. All right, this is one of the main strips here. You can also see High Street cuts across it. I guess I could have walked down High Street, but I would have had to put on a face shield to do that. And that's just uncomfortable, unnecessary, and ridiculous at this point, but still, they make you wear it. And it's been rainy out, so I have not been planning any forays into the barangays, where I like to kind of go and shoot street photography and some videography and stuff. So the stopover, the Fort Bonifacio stopover where I'm going, I don't even know if it's open. I mean, the stopover is open, but I don't know if the kiosk is still in business there, because so many places have gone out of business. And in the Philippines, it's not like you can just pick up the phone and call the place. They don't have a number. You know, there's no landline. There might be a main office if you can reach it, but it's usually like a link to a Facebook page or something like that. Even though I know they do have a website, I've just had so little luck calling over the years. And even if you do call, there's no guarantee they're going to give you the right information. I think that's a friend of mine over there. I haven't seen him in a while. Gotta catch up. Yeah, that's him. I recognize his dog. Yeah, a lot of guys like to live on this side. This is the Forbes Town side. You can see there's lots of condos. And my buddy just moved over here. I thought about living over here. I've talked about that once or twice. Just wasn't really able to get the best price. Some good prices, but no balcony, stuff like that. And although it is nice to live in the Forbes Town sort of area there, it's really convenient as far as a lot of the cool open street restaurants and stuff go. I actually cut down one block more than I needed to. Some of the condos in Forbes Town are pretty strict too. When they roll out these ridiculous restrictions and rules, the condo associations go nuts. They don't let you have visitors, they don't let you use the pool, they don't let you use the gym. They just get very draconian, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. Some are more lenient, some aren't. Alright, this is the stopover here. See if my spot is open, or that I just have a nice little walk downtown today. Alright, coming off the street into the outdoor mall here, I'm required to wear a face shield and get my temperature scanned. So just to get into the outdoor mall area from the outdoor street area, temperature scan, face shield, and face mask. Yeah, because science. So this spot is mostly little restaurants. I think this is like a ramen place. Coffee and ice cream. There's a coffee bean and tea leaf down there. Sushi joint. Not the best sushi in Manila. And it looks like hair and nails. There used to be a health spot here. I could come for a massage. Ooh. This was actually one of my favorite restaurants for a long time, but they merged. Actually, two of my favorite restaurants, the Pho Hua and the Mai Tai restaurant. When they were separate restaurants, and they are separate in Eastwood City, really nice, full menu. And now that they've merged, they've combined and minimized their menu. And the restaurants offer, well, what they used to offer, they no longer offer. What they no longer offer was the best from both menus, at least in my opinion. All right, so here I am, and I can already see the kiosk is gone, which is a real bummer, because it was kind of convenient. Come right here, Right here. Nutrition Depot. Where are you at? So yeah, I mean, just another casualty of these globalist lockdown agendas. All right, my mask. At least the Thai massage joint's still here. This place closed. All right. Well, since I'm over here, I might as well hit the Persian Grill, grab a falafel. All right. Got to salvage my little walk. Wonderful incentive. Falafel is always a good option in Manila. So where St. Luke's is basically Uptown. It's a couple blocks over from Uptown proper. And since it's close, I think I might just go to Uptown because they have falafel yo. And falafel yo is the best falafel in the city. And there's some good falafel here at BGC. All right, Bonifacio stopover. And now over to Uptown Mall. Forbes Town. I'm trying to keep the camera close to my speaking here without having to show you my face. I mean, BGC's interestingly enough to watch. Much more interesting than watching me rap, I'm sure. Lawson, it's like a 7-Eleven. Ooh, I should run for that light, but I just don't feel like it. Actually, maybe I will. It's a long light. All right, St. Luke's, one of the premier hospitals here in BGC, probably in Manila. That means expensive, and in addition to expensive, think upsell. So from what I hear, any foreigner that's unlucky, or maybe lucky because they're in a hospital and are hurt, unlucky enough to get into St. Luke's and not savvy, will be overcharged for everything. They will insist on every procedure. They will insist on a private room. They will insist on any and every element that they can to jack your hospital bill way up. And in the Philippines, this concept has always baffled me. They don't let you out of the hospital until you pay them. So they basically keep you there against your will and charge you to stay until you pay them for services rendered. The S&R Price Club here next to St. Luke's in Uptown. I guess it's kind of like, well, it's a price club. So you go in there and you buy bulk, and supposedly a lot of it's US sort of import product or Canadian import products, and I'm just not impressed. I'm like, maybe I just don't like processed foods or bulk foods. I don't think the quality's that good. I don't think the selection's that good. I don't eat the processed frozen stuff. I don't eat the meats. I don't eat the dairy, so, you know, a place like that, very little appeal to me. Although they do have decent prices on liquor. So if you're into buying a lot of liquor, the Price Club might be a good shot for you. That's the third Hyatt Residences building going up, and they've definitely done a lot of work on it since I moved out of Uptown. You can see they're starting to put the skin on the outside. All right, Uptown condos. Yeah, I used to live down here, and you know, before lockdown, it was pretty good. Not only was the mall scene jumping, and I mean like the mall on Uptown Parade, you'll see that in a minute, because it was just like 24/7, you know. You go out at 2 or 3 in the morning, and your favorite spot would be open. You could get food, you could get craft beers, you could get whatever you wanted. Now, not only is half that stuff shut down, anything that's open would be closed at midnight. And did not have the greatest experience getting out of the condo here, One Uptown. The admins would not release my water bill, and to this day they still haven't. And because they won't release my water bill, I can't pay for it, and because I can't pay for it, my landlord won't release my deposit. So it's some kind of, I don't know, snafu, extortion. Maybe it's a scam between the building and my landlord. I have no idea. But I'd like to get that resolved. There's no way my water bill is as much as a month deposit there. Condo, it's called the Montaigne, and it has recently become available for rental in Uptown BGC, where I am right now. And you can see it's next to the mall, and the mall also has actually three office towers. When I first came to BGC, I worked in one of these office towers, which is why I lived in this condo here. This is the One Uptown condo, and you can see they've got some serious construction going on one of the sky decks, which was an excuse that they often use to keep their facilities closed. Because why would it take months and months and months to fix that? I mean, a lot of people simply speculate it's easier for the buildings to keep their facilities closed, especially during lockdown, because they don't have to, you know, maintain the schedules for usage. They don't have to maintain the extra schedule for cleaning. They just want to be able to save their time and money. So who cares if you get to use the facilities you're paying for? So the Montaigne, One Uptown, Ritz-Carlton, and these other buildings are, oh man, I can't remember the name, but they're still under construction. So there's hundreds of units there, probably thousands in the three buildings, and no one is living there now. And believe it or not, I used to try to fly the drone off of those sky decks there, but the crosswind at that height between these buildings, like this is the mall, makes it really, really challenging to fly the drone. It flies fine, it's just that when you bring it in for a landing, it catches that draft, and it just motors it towards the side of the building. And there's a really high percentage of building impact, and that is something I definitely want to avoid. All right, so Uptown Parade. Uptown Parade was cool. for a lot of reasons. It has some decent restaurants in it. It's got a Chinese restaurant. It's got a couple of little food kiosks. It's got a Denny's, if that's your thing. And it had the nightclubs, right? So the Xylo nightclubs, which were kind of like the swank upscale nightclub. But it also had this whole indoor area that they called the island. And the island was cool because it had like 5 or 6 bars around this giant like open pool, one of which was the brewery. And I'd probably go to the brewery like at least 2 or 3 times a week when I was living here, because they make their own brew and they make a really decent dark beer. And then of course there's Madrone's, one of the other spots in Manila where you can get a decent falafel wrap. Looks like they're setting up for something here, which is cool. I always like outdoor events, and of course the big nightclub. But yeah, Uptown Parade used to be the bomb. Now, if it's even open, it's limited seating, 50% capacity, probably dining only. And I'm heading over to the Uptown Mall. Not that that was my plan, but since I was over here, I will end up scoping the GNC that's down here, because I need protein. And that was the whole purpose of the walk today. But the treat is the falafel from Falafel Yo in the mall, because it really just is the best falafel. And don't get me wrong, because like I said, there's some great places for falafel, like Madrone's on High Street. But for me, it's Falafel Yo, baby. This is the 2nd or 3rd level of the Uptown Mall. Not that, again, it's super compelling. It just gives you an idea of what it would be like to live in BGC, especially if you live in a condo like that or that. You're right across the street from many options for dining and chilling. And at night, of course, that's a dancing fire fountain. More seating, more restaurants inside and out. I actually need to go up to the top. They kind of have it blocked off, so I'll just go inside. Hi. Oh no, thank you. Not today. Actually, on the 2nd level here is a Thai restaurant. My favorite restaurant in this mall. The malls here are pretty high-end, swank. I don't shop here unless it's to buy falafel. The occasional grocery shopping in the basement when I used to live here. But also just 2 blocks down is Sembo Makati, and there's a really good palenque there. Mission accomplished. Well, that's Manila for you. I mean, you go into the mall for 10 minutes, you come out and it's pouring rain. Rainy season. So I might end up getting a taxi, although it's really not coming down hard. Mostly just don't want my bag to get wet. It's got a camera in there and the falafel, of course, which is of extreme value to me. Overhangs are everywhere, and for most of the walk up from now I'm in Uptown to downtown, I will be able to traverse under the overhangs. And keep pretty much dry. there's a million coffee spots in BGC. Coffee Bean Tea Leaf, UCC, obscene amount of Starbucks. Oh, here's where Agave is going to open up. That's a great location for them. I was wondering where. Now I'm just wondering when. I mean, really, Agave always had a street presence. This is kind of on the street. They were, what, 2, maybe 3 blocks up on that side. I'll walk by there. You can see it's shuttered up, and it's kind of a shame because Agave was like a staple. It was a BGC staple spot for like a decade, maybe. You know, you could go to Agave any night of the week. It was open late before global lockdowns and curfews and the rest of that control agenda stuff. And you could get bottomless margaritas for like under 300 pesos. So many a night hammered at Agave on bottomless margaritas. There's a couple ways I could go. If I go up this way, it's sort of a shortcut up to Market, the Ayala Market Mall. If I needed to go to Market today, or even to go by SM Aura, I'd go this way and cut up. But since I'm going straight down to the condo, I'll take this shot, which I think is 9th Avenue? 7th or 9th Avenue. And that goes all the way down to McKinley Parkway. It's already stopped raining. I don't know if you guys are interested in these straightforward walk arounds. It's not something that I really do because there's no, I don't know, real cinematography element to just letting the camera roll as you walk. And since I wasn't planning on doing this, I didn't bring my gimbal. Now this camera has a pretty decent image stabilization, but I'm sure the gimbal would have made it a lot better. So they call this spot the Turf, right? And this is where you would see tons of games every weekend. All the leagues would come out, the soccer leagues, pretty much soccer. And it's been deserted for over a year now. Now we're going up a neighboring street. The street that Agave's on, actually. So I walked from 25th to 34th. I mean, I did a roundabout sort of way, but I mean, that's pretty much the length of BGC. McKinley Parkway at 8th Avenue, which is 25th Street, all the way down to the mall, which is 35th Street at the end of the Uptown Parade. Area here. These used to be public basketball courts. Let's see what's going on here. They still kind of look like public basketball courts. It's just that they tore down the nets. And those were really busy, and there were night lights in there, and kids would be playing basketball all hours of the day and the night. Not anymore. propaganda for the new normal. Here's another one of the parks, the tracks they call them. It's almost halfway up there, and above it, the second floor, that was Agave. The location where Agave had the restaurant for the longest time. And I know those little signs on the front, even though you probably can't see them, are, oh boy, notices that Agave is closed and is moving, and still does takeout. But you can see they've done just about everything except rip out the bar. There's definitely something else going in there. Not sure what it's going to be yet. Hello. So back up along the strip here where High Street bisects most of BGC. Today's little walk around will not include a tour of High Street. Done that before. Actually did that the other night. Maybe I'll append this video with the nighttime High Street walkthrough. It's a little more compelling at night, I think, because it's all lit up. There's a lot more people out. All the restaurants and shops are open, and you can kind of see them a little better. Another residential unit going up here, and construction is definitely coming to a close on it. We got the big balconies across the middle, and they've got the common sky deck areas. So it's interesting, it actually looks like the pool might be on top, and that's been uncommon in Manila because of the big earthquakes here. Pools on the top decks tend to sway, and we've seen water go over the side, just water cascading over the side of these huge skyscrapers during earthquakes as the pool is shaking, basically. And I'm back up on track 28 again. Lots of car dealerships in BGC. I mean, BGC is definitely the money city, even though Makati has the financial district. I think that's enough for an unplanned walk around. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of thing, let me know. Like I said, BGC is a walking city. Got to walk from one end to the other today, and it's a pretty low-key, chill day. It's not a weekend. I have to work tonight. Some days are just like this. I still got to get that protein though.
Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more content from the fabulous Philippines.